We should think about the education of children in this country, whether they're from here or they're not from here. The more we educate children, the more we'll be able to advance the entire planet. So come on, let's think about it. Education is for everyone, no matter from where you're from.
Yo soy mexicano.
We Hispanics come here to work, and we work hard, and I think we should be rewarded for that.
Tanto lloré para que si jamás vas a volver. Tanto lloré para que si soy parte de tu ayer. Yo que la vida te di por mirar y te sonreír.
Give us a chance to prove ourselves that we can belong in this society, in this country.
Hoy solo dices adiós, porque ya te vas de mí. Te vas, te lo puedo curar, pues tu amor lo soy yo. Te van a hacer llorar, te van a hacer llorar, te van a hacer llorar.
Well, as I understand the purpose of in-state tuition, it is to fulfill a government service to the people of North Carolina, and various states have that. And the North Carolina Constitution reads in Section 9 of Article 9, the General Assembly shall provide that the benefits of the University of North Carolina and other public institutions of higher education, as far as practicable, be extended to the people of the state free of expense. And the question comes up about our undocumented aliens and children, for example, people of the state of North Carolina.
The phone calls start coming in to El Pueblo around April, May, and there are students graduating from high school, and they want to know how they can go to college. And then the challenge is telling them that there's really limited options. The way that the law is written right now, undocumented students who don't have legal status in the United States, are not allowed to qualify for in-state tuition in North Carolina.
In many cases, you have residents of North Carolina who are illegal immigrants, who have spent more time being North Carolinians than people who have moved here and are, quote, legally North Carolinians. How do you say to a child, for example, their parents moved here when that child was 5. That child has gone all the way through school, and we have paid for them to go all the way through school. They've graduated cum laude from their high school, valedictorian from their high school. And that child, who's been in school all 12 years and has done everything we've asked of them, they can't get into college or can't go because of the out-of-state tuition. And so they end up flipping burgers at McDonald's because they can't get past their high school education economically. How do you justify that from an educational, a humanitarian, a social, and an economic point of view? And then transpose or put that, juxtapose that against their sister, who was born a few years later after parents already moved here, and who may be a C student, and may have done some of the things we asked, maybe a lot of the things we asked, but not nearly the talent that her older sister or sibling is. But the younger sister, by birth, is a resident, by birth qualifies for in-state tuition, by birth qualifies for scholarship and loan assistance. But the older sister, who is truly the one who can be the next Nobel laureate from this state, we designate as illegal, undocumented, and forever can't enter the university or the community college. As a matter of pure policy on an economic and educational basis, that makes absolutely no sense to me, and on a more human basis, it makes even less sense to me.
Disfranchisement is a social disease in America. The United States has a long history of exploitation of immigrant groups by holders of power and wealth. There exists a creed of greed, an unbridled willingness to make huge profits off the backs of cheap labor, while there seems to be an unwillingness to support the very infrastructures that provide access to the American dream. Children should not be punished for the impoverished human condition forced upon their parents.
I feel like sometimes just because I'm Hispanic and due to the fact that I don't have all my status documents like they're supposed to be, sometimes I feel like I'm being treated as a second-class citizen. I want to do this, or you can't do that. You know, like, I want to go to a state school, or you can't go to a state school.
At the end of the year, I received a letter saying that I made it to the dean's list. They congratulate me for being a full-time student and being in the dean's list. So that was a good thing, because I had like a 3.5 GPA. So that was good, and hopefully that'll help me out in the near future.
I think there's a lot of misconceptions in the American community as far as the Latino community, that they're here to take our jobs. They're taking benefits that they're not entitled to. They're not paying their taxes. They're draining our educational system. There's a lot of misconceptions, and I think it's because of lack of information, the true facts. Those are all perceptions, it's not reality. There might be exceptions to what is in general happening, and I think too many people focus on the exceptions, the unique case, and they're not really seeing the big picture.
What we do know, and interestingly, there's this many myths, I think, about the undocumented workforce. One of them is that they don't pay taxes. That's simply not, at least as far as North Carolina authorities can tell, accurate. Somewhere close to 92%, as best we can figure out, do pay taxes. And in fact, it's interesting, the Social Security Administration has issued a report in the last few months which talks about the fact that almost 10% of the surplus that exists in the Social Security system now is being generated by undocumented workers, because although they're paying into the Social Security system, they may not, as a course of their illegal entry into the country, they may not benefit from any Social Security benefits. And so in a kind of perverse or bizarre way, they're contributing to the stability of the fund.
Now let's talk about the farm worker who is working 12, 14, 18 hours a day, making maybe minimum wage and maybe not. And they're having their money paid to them in cash at times. They don't have access to a lot of the services that are out there. They don't have access to a lot of the things that are out there, yet they're still out there consuming. They're buying things at the store and paying sales taxes. They're buying things at the grocery store and paying sales taxes, the gas they put in their car. All kinds of ways that immigrants are contributing into the tax system.
The Latino community in those situations, like the agricultural situation, the employers will not give them anything saying how much they make. And they're really wanting to do their taxes. And we have called the farmers and they're like, we don't document that. We have no idea.